Peace, boxing fans. Thanks for pressing play on another Bite Down Boxing video. I'm the host of the Bite Down Boxing with R.L. Woodson podcast. You can get that at www.leftjaballnightboxing.com. Actually, it's a new one up as of late last night with my special guest, former Olympian, future 154-pound world champion out of Cleveland, Ohio, Charles Bad News Conwell. Had a good discussion with the brother. Looks like he's trying to get his next fight for a junior belt or a regional belt or something on the Triple G card. I think that's June 6th or June 8th or something at Madison Square Garden. So he's signed with DeBella Entertainment. There's been some back and forth on that between DeBella and him, that's where he might pop up. He last fought in December down over in Columbus, Ohio, and I forgot that he hurt his hand that night. But we talked about Herb and J-Rock's fight, this weekend's fight with Canelo and Daniel Jacobs, as well as the rematch between Jermell Charlo and Tony Harrison. So got in a good word with the brother. Looks like he could be, headed to the zone and, possibly a deal over there or, for a couple of fights or something, but we'll see. Also want to send a special salute to Dayton, Ohio's Christopher Pearson, I believe Sweet P. Had a middleweight title fight last night. I believe it was the WBC Latin America or Latino title, something, against Yamaguchi Falcoa. That was on the Facebook Watch, Golden Boy Fight Night on Facebook Watch. He came back and got a unanimous decision. It was a little wider on the cards than what Bernard Hopkins and Ty Grisham kind of were thinking, and it was a fast start by Yama. But Christopher Pearson persevered, gets a title, and reestablishes himself back in the mix. To continue climbing up to face the best at 160. So congratulations to that brother, bringing that title back home, and we'll see what's next for him. I did a live stream yesterday, and I don't know what happened to it. And I just mentioned, we said a whole lot about the HBO exit their exit from boxing, and we questioned some of the data that their president or vice president, whatever his name is, Peter Nelson, some of the data that he put out there with him suggesting that they weren't attracting new subscribers or maintaining or keeping subscribers based on their boxing content. That's what their numbers show to them. And of course, us in our best interests, we didn't agree with that or weren't buying that. But just wanted to throw out there that last week's Game of Thrones episode, The Long Night, the third episode of the 8th and final season, 17.8 million viewers tuned in to watch that. So that's a pretty strong statement, that supports what Nelson was talking about. And we laughed about, spending money on dragons and the CGI and whatnot to make the dragons. But 17.8 million people, we're sitting around here arguing about 370 to 480,000 for a boxing telecast. So maybe he was on to something, which maybe leading into my final thought on Canelo Alvarez and Daniel Jacobs. Maybe there's something to be said that different platforms or whatever are the future for boxing. Like, people that want boxing will have to pay directly for something specific to boxing. a platform truly dedicated to boxing. So yeah, I thought that was a phenomenal number. I think the premiere was like right at 17. It was around 17.8 or 17.3 or 17.5. So definitely a bigger pot to be focusing on versus us little boxing people. Getting into this matchup this weekend, I have not seen the second 40 days video yet. That's available on DAZN's YouTube channel as well as on the app itself. I haven't had a chance to check it out, but the winner for the fight. I've waffled back and forth on this thing, trying to find a way. Canelo was outboxed and being outboxed and beaten by the smaller, more faster Amir Khan. I did score the fight for Lara, and with Canelo, I did score that for Lara. The two big fights with Gennady Golovkin, which to me confirms that Canelo does have the better chin in this fight, and Canelo has added so much to his game and is such a capable fighter. Very few bad moments for him. I mean, the only time that he kind of faltered in the ring was against a 36, at 23 against a 36-year-old Mayweather, who was arguably at his mental prime, with still really good tread on the tires. So I don't even really hold that against him. But just a consummate professional in terms of improvements, continuous improvement, always in shape. I'm not even speaking on the clenbuterol thing, but not much to take away from Canelo. On the other side, Daniel Jacobs has just been up and down these last couple fights. He's had some knockdowns, no knockouts. So now I'm sitting here like, how are you going to knock out a guy who has a pretty damn good beard and, has everything so much riding on this moment in terms of needing a big night to encourage, attract more DAZN subscribers. He's early in this $300+ million deal. He's 9 or so fights left on that deal. He's going to be looking to do something big. Definitely not coming in losing, that's out of the question. So Jacobs with the reach, size advantage, a little bit more athletic probably, but he's seen it all. Crafty, he can fight in a number of different ways. Just another consummate professional, but from a completely different angle. Was knocked out by Pirog. Has been knockdown, the flash knockdown against Sergio Mora. And I thought Derevianchenko pushed him. I really did. So getting to the itch. I mean, Canelo was already the prohibitive favorite in terms of his Vegas, is his show, his Golden Boys show. He's the money man, so on and so forth and so on and so forth. So it was hard to go against him anyway. But just not seeing Jacobs being able to get the knockout. I just haven't seen anything in the recent history that suggests he could pull it off and get that done on this night against this opponent. So I have to go with Canelo's defense, his ring IQ. Not that Daniel Jacobs is much behind him in that area, but Canelo can figure out a way to not be sped up. He won't panic. He'll fight at his pace. He'll work the body. He'll throw his disciplined combinations and well thought, well conceived combinations and everything. One thing that I do like that I tried to mention yesterday was he disguises his punches very well, like a quarterback against a DB or even a linebacker. He moves defenders' defenses around or gets a reaction out of them at the start of the motion to throw a punch, but then by the time the punch is actually thrown, it's a different punch or it goes to a different area. This might not catch Jacobs off guard earlier in the fight, but Jacobs tends to slow down in the second half of the fight, and lose focus and be a little less responsible defensively, and that's when these types of things, this type of technique, is gonna pay off for Canelo. So I'm rooting for Daniel Jacobs as the American in this thing, and the cancer survivor, everything this brother has fought to become, and he's a professional. I like what he represents for black boxers and being professionals in this thing instead of just to the contrary. So yeah, I'm gonna give. I gotta go with Canelo. Wouldn't be mad if I'm wrong though, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks for checking out another video. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Leave a comment if you have any other thoughts on the matchup, and have a wonderful day. Enjoy this fight weekend. I've said it before. A little disheartening this week to watch some of the different videos and some of the different commentary on this. If you could tear down the DAZN app and yelling about watching an app on your phone and totally uninformed on the situation, but how you can be mad with a pay-per-view caliber fight that can be purchased for $19.99 and you have you should have done it 2 weeks ago so you could have had the other fights from last week with the Rungvisai, Estrada, and all of that. But to get it for $19.99, even if you don't become an annual subscriber or a multi-month subscriber, I just don't understand how you could be a boxing channel or a boxing voice out here in boxing and discourage people from taking advantage of this. One of the questions with DAZN was, when would they get those marquee fights? When would they get to 2, 3, or 4 pay-per-view caliber fights per year? And this is definitely one of those. This is probably an $80, $85 fight if it wasn't on DAZN. So a little disheartening to hear the people discredit the bout and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I ain't blah, blah, blah. I'm still out here rooting for boxing ultimately. So that's my position. I'm not trying to spend anybody else's money, count anybody else's money, but we might have to pay for what we want to see happen. And right now, this is one of the major plugs for boxing. So let me get on off of here. Again, check out the Sound for Sound. Probably nobody made it this far in the video, but please check out the Sound for Sound column for this week that does deal with this week's matchup. It's kind of Daniel Jacobs focused because it's a Brooklyn themed Sound for Sound with some of the different artists that I mentioned in there in the piece. So quickly, Sound for Sound is just like boxing's pound for pound, but I blend hip hop or music in general and boxing together to make just to complete an editorial on something. So I'm out. Enjoy it all. Peace.